What's up guys, welcome back to another word-based building video. As requested, we had a lot of DMs or requests on YouTube, on the Discord server, asking for trap guides. Now in today's video I'm gonna show you guys one of the bases I've built for warm-ups. The base in warm-ups got 5 out of 5 defenses. Then after that, the coming month, I think we used it for 3 weeks after the warm-ups as well. It got another 7, I think, defenses and 1 triple on the base. So overall, 11 out of 12 it was defense. Now I'm gonna talk about how we tested the base and the traps you see on the base right now, why they are there, and what's the purpose of these specific traps. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Now, when we started to test the base, the first thing we tested was root riders with RC charge. Now, the most common entry, in my opinion, that I thought is gonna be likely the best entry was doing the RC charge, starting the RC charge on the Wizard Tower, going to the Archer Tower, then straight into the scatter Rage Comp. Then recalling and spamming your troops into the corner comp at 6 o'clock and going through the Town Hall. Now, I got into, first of all, I wanted to bait the Fox and kill the Fox, which was successful. Now, these Teslas here were to bait 2 entries at the same time. Number 1 entry was this side, and the reason for that is because if you drop the RC on the Wizard Tower, then it goes to the Archer Tower, then the Tesla pops. And if you're not careful, this Tesla pops. If you don't invis this compartment, as soon as the RC goes to target this expo, it's gonna walk to the other Tesla up top here, right here, and we'll miss this scatter shot compartment. But just as precaution, just in case the attacker somehow didn't pull this Tesla, because it's likely, as we tested, it wasn't that uncommon for that Tesla to not get popped. So I ended up just baiting the Fox with like 4 giant bombs here. Then for the bottom side, what we did was used some sinking air mines on the sides to just get any cocoa loons down. This air defense itself was gonna take down at least like 1 or 2 of the cocoa loons, but I used 3 SAMs there as well, just to catch any unwanted cocoa loons passing through the town hall and being covered under the tome. Then for our follow-ups, ignore these traps inside this compartment for a second till we get to it. Then for the follow-up, there was 2 follow-ups to this strategy. Now, there was either RC charge from here into the corner comp and maybe to the multi-comp, then Queen and Siege Barracks at 6 o'clock, then spamming everything into the Rage comp, as you guys see here. That's the reason I had my wrap farm behind the town hall, not, let's say, here, to just bait the root riders while they're going into the town hall and to the other side of the base. Now, one of the most used overgrowth placements on the base was on the core, like invising everything of in the core while the troops are going through the town hall. So what we did was, if the RC charge entry was into the scatters, of course, what we did was use the wraps behind the town hall instead of in front of the town hall for the root riders. We would get the root riders every single time if we used the wrap farm on the back side of the town hall, like here, like I said. But the risk was if any other root rider entry was used on the base from 6 to 3 o'clock side of the base, the red bombs would have been practically useless. Now, that's how we basically baited the root rider, RC charge root rider entry RC charge from here, then spamming into the scatter, or RC into the scatter, then spamming into the corner comp here, with the queen on this spell factory with the siege barracks to funnel the outside. Now, the second entry we tested, the most popular strategy in my opinion at the time, or even right now, was dragon spam with the mass invisibility RC charge. Now, the most common way to people use that strategy was the same RC entry from here into the scatter and all the way into the core of the base. And the second most common entry was doing the RC charge from here, dropping in on the mortar, going on the wizard tower, the expo, air defense, and the ricochet cannon. Now, the traps you guys see here are not maxed out on my account, but on a max account, they kill the fox, especially because the town hall always gets the shot off on the RC and the fox, at least one shot. So that's a guarantee. Then the NATO was here to catch the RC and delay for a bit more time, so we can waste some invisibilities. Then I used Tesla here, which out of the 4 attacks that defended this exact entry, this single Tesla here prevented the RC to go from Rico Town Hall, then into the core of the base, going behind the Town Hall and getting everything into the core of the base, to go on the left side onto the Citizen Tesla, then the hut, then the multi-archer tower, and basically the RC charge was getting this area of the base, the Town Hall compartment, and the corner compartment here with like 11 or 12 invisibility spells, which is not enough at all for the dragons to work, because you have 2 flank rage comps, which is very toxic. Then you have a really toxic core that you need to get through. Then you have a back end with lots and lots of air targeting defenses. So that was the second thought. Now, one of the most important thing whenever you are testing a base and want to trap a base is trying to bait multiple different entries with the same traps. For example, the giant bombs I have here will kill the fox if the RC charged dragon entry is through this wizard tower, then the scatter, then into the core. Same for the Teslas. The Teslas will pull the RC and mess up the RC pathing a bit and force an extra 1 or 2 invisibilities to redirect the RC back into the scatter comp. Oops. So what I mean is the same traps I have for RC charged root riders work against the RC charged dragons. Now on the bottom side, the same traps again that I have for dragons or root riders behind the town hall, which is the wrap farm, will again work for root riders and the dragons at the same time. Because if you are spamming your dragons straight into the town hall, I don't know why I keep removing these. If you spam your dragons straight into the town hall, you are gonna use the tome, especially because I have a sweeper pointing to the town hall. You're gonna use your warden tome really early. So by the time you get into the town hall and you clear the town hall and want to get behind the town hall, the red bombs are gonna be activated and target the dragons, or the minion prince most of the times was getting behind the town hall. Now as for the other side, I had some skellies for the queen and the siege barrack troops on the back end. Then I had 1 giant bomb here for RC, because whenever the RC charge was when we tested, one of the most common places the RC was ending on with really low HP was on this specific rage towers. Then I have like 3 SAMs here. Again, these 3 SAMs work great against these 3 here in the core, in the rage tower comps, and these 2 on the outside. Depending on where the queen goes, how the queen paths, If the queen goes to the outside, the queen ability is gonna be forced around this blacksmith in hard mode. So whenever the queen popped the ability, I got two of the healers out basically instantly down. And if the queen went into the wizard tower comp or this corner comp, the root riders already opened these walls, so the queen could have just walked inside the base. I had these Sams inside to kill the healer puppet healers. The Rabs behind the town hall would kill the initial healers, the 5 or 4 healers for the root riders. So that wasn't an issue, but I didn't want the queen on the back end to have any more punch to get through the base or get extra percentage on the board. So I used these Sams here, but at the same time, let's look at it for dragons. If our dragons get this part of the base down, this whole area of the base down, then half the core of the base down, then the queen is gonna be placed here or on the army camp to funnel with a siege barracks or solo, whatever. Then the dragons are gonna be spammed into the town hall with an early tome. And by the time the dragons get past this, they're gonna hit these wrap farms behind the town hall. Then I have 3 Sams placed near my key defenses to target them. And by the time they get there, because one Sam doesn't kill the dragon, you usually need 2 max level Sams to take one shot at the dragon on full HP. But since the placement is so far out, like it's basically on a place that the dragons are ending on. But it's called, the dragons are most of the time on like 20% HP, 30% HP, maybe even 40% HP at best. So these 3 Sams were guaranteed to take out the 3 dragons that were pathing into it. At the same time, this hidden Tesla I used here in the core of the base was because when I was testing the RC Charge dragons from here into the scatter, the main issue we had was RC was getting these 2 buildings, the Rage Tower and the Multi-Archer Tower, then going for the hut, then going behind the town hall. Now that's an issue because if the RC goes behind the town hall, it's gonna get the multi, the sweeper, the monolith, then the town hall, or the town hall, then the monolith. Doesn't really matter. But if the town hall goes down, this gives the attacker the possibility of, instead of going through the town hall and having to end on a rage comp and a really toxic backhand, the possibility is to spam into the rage comp using your queen at 12 o'clock to get these air defenses down and this multi-gear tower down. So there's basically nothing on the base that can actually withstand the attack. So I used this 1 Tesla here. It doesn't do any damage whatsoever to the RC, to root riders or anything, but what it does is when the RC gets the rage tower, then goes for the multi-archer tower and gets the hut, RC steps 1 tile to the right, so the RC goes after it gets the Tesla and the hut. It doesn't go for the multi and doesn't go behind the town hall. It goes for the fire spitters. It gets the first fire spitters, then the multi, then the other fire spitter or the monolith. Doesn't matter in which order. But the key point is just having this 1 Tesla here prevents the RC from getting behind the town hall and clearing the town hall compartment and leaving the rest of my base basically defendless. The spring traps I have here, I usually most of the time use my spring traps on the outside to, like, let's say I have this mortar here, I push it 1 tile back, then put like 2, 3 maybe spring traps in front of that mortar to get any Valkyries or any super barbarians used on the outside to take those out. But I decided to use them on the inside because of the headhunters, which ended up not doing too much for me. Besides these 2 were nice. Sometimes they got the hog puppet on the back end, but beside that they didn't do too much. But yeah, that's basically it. Um, as for how the mindset, this was the mindset of how I use the traps on this specific base for warm-ups. Um, then what else we can say about it? Yeah, some people might use the Teslas to add some extra DPS on a base, which you could do. Like, for example, I would like to have some extra punch here in front of this, and the reason isn't that there isn't too much DPS there, but the main issue for me is I don't want to lose my multi-gear tower on this base too early for a queen or something. So if you use the Teslas here, maybe with like one or two skellies, that can be really effective to kill queen or king. That might sway there. But I used my giant bombs to kill fox. I used the NATO for the RC to delay time. And this specific placement was really nice because the cycle was as soon as the RC went invisible on her own, not using invisibility spells on her. As soon as the RC went invis on her own, this NATO activated. So it means one of the Fox cycles was wasted, which is nice. Then spring traps didn't do too much. I used the skeletons on some of the back end areas of the base to just add a bit more, make it a bit more time consuming to get through. The rabs are for healers, for dragons, and all of that. These air mines, SAMs, seeking air mines, whatever you guys call them, are for cocoloons. These Teslas, I opted to use most of my Teslas for pathing, as for these three here, and this for the core of the base. Same for this one, was used for RC pathing. Then there's not really much left, but yeah, that's it. That's how I specifically trapped the base, and that's how we tested the base. And these entries were the exact entries that every team used against us. I got like 2 1-stars on this base, which is like really nice. But at the same time, trapping bases is all about testing a base and making sure you test with like 2 3 people if you can, to make sure the entries you guys test are actually the ones players can see and want to use those entries, so you guys can trap accordingly. Yep, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys in the next video.